Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to this tutorial about editing and creating new assignments and forums. Now, this is the template which we provided, and it already comes with a lot of assignments already pre-created for you. In fact, one for each module. Now, there's 10 modules, so there's 10 assignments and 10 forums. But there's also a midterm assignment and a final assignment. We try to make it generic enough for all the courses. The reason why we've added one for each module, or we've added all these resources for you, is because the settings are already configured for the teachers, which makes it just one step easier. So to edit these, now they're kind of generic for the photography department. They have generic descriptions in them, which you might not want for your department. So to erase this, we'll just show you how to erase this real quickly and type in your own specific assignment requirements. So to do that, we're going to go back to the resources here, and we're going to click on the Turn Editing On button. We'll scroll down to the edit icon. Let's say we want to make this a final assignment. We want to change that one. And we'll go to Edit Settings, and then we can edit the description. So we don't want any of this information because this is for the photography department. So we can delete that, and we can even delete this little notification, and we can just have the final assignment description here, and you can type in your own requirements like this final must be at least 600 words. Now I know this maybe is not enough words for a typical final essay, but hey, it's the photography department. We're not used to writing big long essays. So. And then you could say, please submit this assignment by the due date. And we'll just set the due date maybe to, 5/4/2015, and a time, let's say at 10 a.m. Okay, so we can toggle the full screen off now, and we can set the availability. So now we have to, we told the students that we want them to submit it on 5/4/2015 at 10 a.m. So we'll have to set the availability to match that. So we'll go down into enable the allow submissions from, and let's say we want to give them a week or two. So we'll set it to 25th of March is when they can first turn in the assignment if they would like. So they can turn it in anytime between the 25th of March to the due date, which is the 5th of April. And we can set the time to whatever time we want. And we can set the due date now to the 5th of April, 2015 at 10 o'clock. That gives the students some time to submit their final assignment. Now, they can submit, right now, the way it's set up with the allow submissions from and the due date, both enabled, they can submit the final assignment anywhere between here and between this date and this date. But they also can submit late assignments if they would like. The assignment will remain open for eternity, actually, until the class is finished, and they'll be able to submit a late. But maybe that doesn't fit with your style of your class, so you're going to want to set a cutoff date to stop submissions if you would like. You can enable this, and you could say maybe you won't accept submissions past this specific day or this specific time. Maybe you want to give the students a little grace period of 25 minutes just in case they accidentally submitted the wrong file or something like that. So you can set that up, a cutoff date, and past the cutoff date they won't be able to submit any assignments. Now, you're going to want to go in and adjust some of these other things like the submission types. Maybe you don't want them to submit online text. You only want them to submit a file submission, like a Word document or a PDF. And if you have any questions about what any of this stuff means, you always can click on the icon, the question mark icon here, and Moodle will give you a little brief description about what that means. So that works pretty much all over Moodle, actually. You can see the question mark icons pretty much everywhere. And now you'll want to continue down this, this stream of regulations for this assignment. So the next one is the maximum number of uploaded files. Now for the photography department, maybe we're having a student submit like 10 photos. But if you're just having them to submit a final essay, most likely one is enough. Now, the maximum submission size for a document should be less than a megabyte. But again, if you're having them submit photos or some kind of project, you might want to increase the megabytes all the way up to 25 megabytes, which is the active upload limit. So 1 megabyte is pretty much more than sufficient for a file, like a Word document or something like that. Now, you're going to want to go down again and continue down this to set it up the way you want it. For example, feedback types. Are you going to want to put comments in the gradebook? That way, as soon as they get their grade, they can see the comments that you made, the critiques of their assignment. Or maybe you want to give them feedback files. Oftentimes I do. For my students, I give them audio feedback for their critique of their images. That way they can see their images and they can hear my voice and they can hear me give direct feedback or direct critique of their images or their assignment. You might not want to do that. So you can turn that on or off. It depends. By default, it's set to on. Now, the submission settings, you can require the students to have to click a submission button. So that means that once they click that button, it's final. That submission is final and they can't submit anymore. So by default, we set it to no because most of the time you want to require the students or you want to allow the students to submit as many times as they possibly can. Just in case they submit the wrong file or maybe they want to make a correction, like say they turned it in on the 1st but it's not due until the 5th, and they come up with this new idea and they want to revise their essay. That way they can delete what they've already submitted and submit a new document. I would leave this click no, just for that purpose alone. Now, if you scroll down to the group settings, maybe you're having them do a group final project, and you can set up groups within your enrolled student list, and then you can click yes if you've done that. If you're not, if this is individual submissions, just leave it no. There's the notifications. Maybe you want to get an email if the student has submitted their work, or maybe you're not the grader, you're just the lecturer and somebody else is grading the work for you, like an assistant lecturer. You can set that up and then have them receive an email if the student submits their final exam. You can also set it up if you have late submissions or you accept late submissions, you can set it up to receive an email anytime a student submits a late assignment. Now the grade is something a little more important, and you can set it up to any kind of weightage you would like. I think most likely most teachers will set each assignment to 100%. That way they grade out of 100 instead of some other number. And you can also set up the grading method. If you set up a rubric or some kind of marking guide that you're going to be using for your assignment, you can set those there. But most often, you're just going to be using simple direct grading, such as A, B, C, D. Now, one of the most important things is to go into the gradebook and set up categories for the specific type of assignment. Oftentimes, the categories are already set up at assignments, quizzes, and forums, each one having their own unique category. So all the assignments are categorized for assignments, all the forums for forums. And that way you can apply different weightage to the different type of categories. For example, maybe your course has, says that all assignments are worth 30% of the total mark. So you can apply that 30% weightage to the category assignment, and Moodle will do that automatically. It'll figure out the grade for you automatically, and you don't have to bust out the calculator or anything like that. So that will be useful. Right now those categories aren't set up, and so we just see the default uncategorized option there. Now, other common module settings are like the show and hide, and you're going to want to make it show. That way the students will be able to see the link, which you'll be putting in the module in a later date. So now we have all this set up, and we can now place save and display, and that way you can see kind of exactly what it looks like, and we can see the assignment description. You can make any kind of corrections. If you want to make corrections, all you have to do is go to the administrative panel and edit settings again. If everything looks okay and good, you might want to check exactly what the student sees, so you can switch a role and click on the student. And then you can see exactly what the student sees. You can see that they see the assignment description here. They see some submission status, meaning it hasn't been submitted, and how much time they have remaining to submit their grade. and then they can add their submission. It has a little add submission button. If it is past the time, this submission button will disappear, and it'll just say no more submissions are accepted. So once that is all complete and everything's good, you can switch your role back to the teacher, return my role, return to my normal role, and we can go to the home page, and we can edit now our module. We can include that link into our module. We just have to go down and remember the name, which is Final Essay. That's the name of the resource. And all we have to do is type that into the module. So here we can go edit the settings of the module. We can go into full screen, and we can scroll down to the assignment section of your module, and we can put, the description here if we would like this is the final essay, and we can make that a little bit bigger so the students can read it. Maybe 5-point font. Please follow the instructions. And then it says please submit your final essay, or you can just type in please submit your project to the final essay link by the due date, which we set at 10 a.m. All right. And then once we have all that, we can even add images or videos. Like I said, you can add a video or something like that briefly describes the final assignment. And we'll look at one of those examples in just a second. But for right now, we have everything set up. We can go and save and display. And we can see that the Moodle automatically adds that link because we typed in the name of our resource. If you've seen the add a link resource tutorial, you'll know that Moodle automatically creates or generates a link based on the name of the resource. So all you have to do is type it in anywhere on Moodle, and it'll create a link automatically. So that's really great. And now students can click on this link, and they can be directed to the assignment requirements, and they're allowed to submit their final assignment. So let's take a look real quick at what a final one of these finals would look like on a real course. So here's my course in Advanced Photography 1, and I'll scroll down to Module 10, and we can see, if I scroll down, we can see the final assignment description. Now I have set up all the requirements for the final assignment, and I have my links, please complete the final forum post. We have the requirements for that. I have my final assignment. I haven't set the due date yet, but I've told the students exactly what I want them to submit. And then I have my final exam, and I tell them exactly what it'll cover and the due date. And that way the students can click through it. I also did the same thing. We can go look at the midterm for this course, and it's set up quite similarly. We can go up to, let's see, Module 5 has the midterm, and we can scroll down to the midterm assignment. Here I've added a video which describes what I want students to do, and it gives an example of a finished midterm project. And then it can go down and it has all the assignment requirements for the midterm assignment, the midterm exam, and the midterm forums. So that's exactly what it would look like, a finished one for a course would look like. And I think that this amount of information is pretty good description for the students, and it can be supplemented with your in-class description when you're talking to them face to face. So if you have any questions, please contact your e-learning coordinator or the e-learning department of the ETC.